Being an ArtWell teaching artist is really meaningful to me. Seeing all the great poetry and art our students do, it's truly inspiring to me. Many of our students are undervalued by our society. And the art and poetry that we share with them is also undervalued. This is why we need organizations like ArtWell and the teaching artists to stand up for the kids and to stand up for the power that art has to transform their lives. I'm sure all you Eagle fans and everyone that saw the Super Bowl remembers that great play, the Philly Special. Well, that's how I see our ArtWell students. They're the real Philly Specials. ArtWell is a great and supportive organization. And everyone from the director, Susan Teagan, to the board, to the staff, to the teaching artists, are dedicated to the mission of helping the students reach their potential and to awaken their dreams. And I'm very, very proud to be one of the teaching artists at ArtWell. And thanks so much for this award. Thank you so much.
Good evening. I'm so delighted to be with you all tonight. My name is Fariha Kahn, and I had the joy of being a member and the chair of ArtWell for a number of years. Actually, I joined when we were Arts and Spirituality. That was a couple of moons ago. And for me, tonight is a really lovely homecoming to see all of my friends. And I want to say, too, that, I was sitting here thinking of seeing all of these wonderful, warm faces. Hi, Patricia. And it's really a testament to the love that ArtWell has, right, for all of us, because we've all come back. After all of these years, and I won't say how many years, because as Adab said, we don't change. Time has passed, but we don't change. So when Susan asked me to present this award, I could not have been more honored. ArtWell lives its mission of creating a more peaceful world through education and the arts. By delving deep into the individual light of each child and every community, ArtWell envisions a world transformed by creativity, wonder, and harmony. And it is not at all a daydream, because I know that as an organization, they do so through hard work and perseverance. But after I agreed, I was in a slight panic. I had a million questions. What am I going to say about my friend Helen? When did we first meet? How did we meet? I can't even remember that. Maybe she does. And really, the most important question is, how will I ever be able to make remarks on all of her accomplishments in a few minutes? So I'm not sure how we met, but this I do know. Helen has been on the front lines of advocacy for our children and our communities since she became a public school teacher right after college. She co-founded the Parents United for Public Education and is one of the founders of the Philadelphia Public School Notebook, a nonprofit, independent, free news service. In partnership with Asian Americans United and the Philadelphia Folklore Project, she also co-founded a charter school in Chinatown, the Folk Art Cultural Treasures School. It's a really lovely school. Helen Gym led a grassroots campaign against the construction of a baseball stadium, a casino, and predatory gambling in Chinatown. She championed for the rights of Asian American students in South Philadelphia High School as they were harassed and bullied. In 2016, she became the first Asian American woman to serve on Philadelphia's City Council. Yeah. As chair of City Council's Children and Youth Committee, she has selflessly devoted her time to investments for public schools through expanded pre-kindergarten programs and safety infrastructure. She worked to secure funds to address youth homelessness, a defense fund for tenants facing wrongful evictions, defended immigrant rights, and passed a resolution supporting the Muslim American community during the Muslim ban. She is everywhere, all the time. So I'm still not sure how or when we met. It was most likely through shared work at the Philadelphia Folklore Project or Asian Americans United. Perhaps I met her on campus at Penn. She's an alum, I work there. But I do know that I have met Helen as a mother, as a community leader, and as a champion for students. Helen has spoken in my class about lion dancing, activism, and Chinatown. And I realized that maybe it doesn't matter, because Helen has been my friend and our friend at every turn for each one of us in this city. Again, she is everywhere all the time. And she remains in our corner, supporting Philadelphia's children, our children, and fighting for them relentlessly. Her vision is synergized with ArtWell's, a world where learning and creativity is supported and where love is shared across difference. And we are all the more fortunate for it. So I want to say thank you, Councilwoman Helen Gym. So now, to help express our gratitude for Helen's work to improve our city and our schools, allow me to introduce ArtWell's student leaders, Lataj Carter and Dayshalee Sanchez, the Limitless Voices Council.
Hello? Can everyone hear? All right, that's good. That's good. Well, as mentioned earlier, Helen Gym is known not just for her political work, but also for her work that directly supports youth and communities, including her efforts against gentrification, which harms our schools and neighborhoods. The authors of this poem, Lataj Carter and Dayshalee Sanchez, wrote this poem to symbolize a threat to the communities Helen Gym supports, and also to remind everyone of our duty to our communities. Welcome to Route 34, the hood, home to honest livings.
The people come and go with satisfaction.
Complain about problems but still have a pillow to rest on.
Corners serve as social spots for neighbors and cousins.
To see a community make treasure out of what others call trash.
Next stop, 50th Street.
This must be another dimension.
The unwilling combination of poor workers and the wealthy. Questions about the people who maintain this part of town are answered with laughs.
From someone who will evict a resident in 2 years.
Next stop,
46th Street. Invaders became comfortable in this home, hear conversations about common things but do not distinguish common luxury and common misfortune. Joggers running past the evicted, overpriced residents who knew home for years until the rent was raised. Next stop, 40th Street.
This is not a home anymore. No comfort in living near businesses that take more than give.
That see gentrification in a reasonable price tag. No 3 cheers.
For bitter distraught, for home becoming temporary.
Next stop. What is home if nothing but taxpayers desecrating what once was?
Hands holding checks and dollar bills, clench land.
Use renovation as a scapegoat for economical colonization, neighborhood improvement.
Excluding communities. Slowly spreading inequality. Attacking lower income homes because your pockets contain more quantity.
There are no values in this process.
Just ignorance.
These pavements no longer lead to peaceful walks, just tensious talks.
A world I cannot live in.
A money-hungry vision.
A class war that continues the division.
How do I envision equality when solace is sold off?
When once familiar becomes a stranger.
Last stop. Gentrification.
We just wanted to say thank you, Helen, for supporting our communities and helping us thrive.
Okay, I was trying to hold it together. So Lataj, Dayshalee, that was amazing. You know, thank you so much. Khadijah, your life, vibrant and alive and beautiful. It's like what makes everybody so deeply moved about the power of arts, the power of our young people, and the possibilities of this city today. So thank you. I feel wholly undeserving. But I just want to open up by thanking everyone in this room, the artists and the dreamers, the rebels and the believers whose works tear down patriarchy, who strike fear in the heart of those who would take away our public goods for privatization, who would take on white supremacists and those who hate us for our religion. Thank you so much. I come to you as a daughter of immigrants who today live in a nation that would deport at rates that we have never seen. A mother of 3 children in a city which still labors to bring its schools back from the brink. I come to you as thus a hard-charging, rabble-rousing, very impolite community organizer in a city that is struggling mightily for racial and economic justice, and we haven't gotten it right. But I also think about the places in which we build hope and community, and the places in which we restore our faith and our sense of possibility. And I think about the places where we come home, the places and spaces of rooms like this where we celebrate our arts, where we love us for ourselves, for our language, for our culture, for our religion, for our way of dress, for our way of being. And that's what it means to be truly whole. It is extraordinarily difficult to think about how powerful that the full humanity of our arts can be in a city where more than 1 in 4 schools even lacks a music program, where we struggle to see arts and music in the communities which desire it the most, where we can see and guarantee that our children will get a metal detector, police officer, and surveillance cameras before they'll ever touch a drum, pick up a flute, dance to their heart's content, sing and stomp their way to a different way of being and a different view of this nation. But every time I think about how we're going to change this broken and confusing and chaotic world that we're in, we know that we can do it when we look at our young people, when we look at the fact that they can look at this broken world and say, not me, not this time, and I'm not waiting. For all of the folks who disguised cowardice as wisdom, who thought about or waited on the sidelines, not our young people. They're taking on the hardest problems that our country faces and doing it with the fearless sense of beauty and joy and possibility that youth brings. I think deeply about how much that means today. My father came to this country as an immigrant with almost nothing in his pockets. He renamed himself Juan Golden Gym because he believed so much in the hope of this nation. And not even just last month, this country removed the term nation of immigrants from the mission statement of the U.S. Immigration Department. So we have to get what it means to be political, that it's not just about candidates and elections and electoral politics in November and May. It's what happens every day in our lives, that life is political for so many of us. Art becomes thus political for so many of us. That I have to give a special message to our women and girls especially, that your voice, your beauty, your passion is vibrant and alive. It matters more than ever. We need you more than ever, and that every day you wake up and your feet hit the floor, you do what every woman does every time they wake up, which is go out and you fix this broken world. You do it for yourself, you do it for our families, we'll do it for our children, we'll do it for the ones we love. We'll repair, we'll think, we'll heal, we'll cry, we'll sob, we'll build, we'll think, we'll dance, and we'll hope. And so I want to thank ArtWell for the spaces you create to be able to do that with young people in a time when we really need to think about it so much, so deeply. And I just, I wanted to end with the words of someone who truly embodied what it meant to be a president, number 44. He wrote something very beautiful about the young people of Parkland, Florida, in a recent essay that he did. But to our youth, you have the power so often inherent in our youth to see the world anew, to reject the old constraints and the outdated conversations, the cowardice that's so often dressed up as wisdom, the power to insist and demand that America can be better. So thank you, ArtWell, for making that possible. Thank you to our young people. You give us life and hope every day. And thank you to everyone in this room who supports ArtWell and all the organizations that do the same. Thank you.
Okay, it's been pretty amazing tonight. So how about another round of applause for all of our honorees, please? I am so excited to be here. I'm Erica Bennett, one of the co-chairs of tonight's event, and I really want to take a moment to really thank a lot of our, really amazing sponsors and folks who've been here, without whom this night would absolutely not be possible. First and foremost, if this is your first time in this amazing space, it's certainly my first time, and really want to, say a very, very warm thank you to the American Jewish History Museum for allowing us to have this space and to host this event here. So it's been absolutely wonderful. So thank you. Along with, obviously, the fantastic food, I have to say, if you did not have any of the macaroni and cheese in the mac and cheese bar, I feel sorry for you. So thank you, 12th Street Catering, for the food. It was fantastic. Along with, of course, our fantastic libations from the Chamonix Creek Brewery, as well as the fantastic little floral arrangements on the tables from Snapdragon Flora. So thank you so much. I also work at Independence Blue Cross, and before I forget, I really want to also say a very special thank you to our Blue Crew and our volunteers who were here to greet you as you came in, and also who were able to sort of escort and guide us around. So thanks to them, and thanks to all of our, to our folks who made this event really, really fantastic for us tonight.
Good evening. I am Carol Span Tyson. I am the board chair of ArtWell. I hope that I am not being too presumptuous as I look into the audience and see your smiling faces, and hope that by my saying that I have been left speechless by the beauty of the evening, that I can speak for you as well. It has been a marvelous experience, and we thank you so much for being here to continue to support ArtWell in its work. I would first like to extend our thanks to both our individual and corporate sponsors, without whom this evening would have not been the success that it is. I'd also like to thank the ArtWell Board and the Award Committee. If you are a member of the ArtWell Board, I would ask you to stand quickly, please, and please acknowledge them, folks. They've worked very hard along with the ArtWell Award Committee. Please stand as well. We thank you and we love you and appreciate your many efforts and your tireless devotion to this cause. In addition, I'd like to acknowledge and thank our performers who were drummers, our student poets, and our singers. All were truly inspiring.
And before we formally close, I personally would like to see everybody in this room adorn one of these wonderful blue wave pins. They're down on the 3rd floor. You can certainly go down and make a special wish, write out your wish for our students, really bringing more support, beyond this room out into the ArtWell community. The Wishing Well will be open for the rest of the evening. Join us after we're finished for our dessert reception. And again, go down to floor 3 and get a wonderful wave pin and continue to show your support. We appreciate you so much.
Thanks again for coming. Please join us for dessert and coffee on the 4th level. Don't forget the Wishing Well, and enjoy music by our performing artist, Vesna. Good evening. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in 2020.
Can we get all of the honorees to come up and take a group picture, please?